here's the big question. The big question for today is from Tracy from Naples in Florida, who asked, what are the top 3 obstacles most newcomers face when moving to and once living in Hawaii? Now, she also asked for their solutions, but we're not going to talk about the solutions because the solution is like, spend 40 years here, and if you're lucky, you'll figure it out. But the question is, what are the biggest newbie obstacles? What are the biggest obstacles in their solution? Most newcomers come. Now, you folks have all, you guys all sell real estate, and I'm sure you've sold real estate to people that have just moved here. I'd be curious about what kind of problems that you see people facing. Why don't we do this? Why don't we go to Heidi and then Ashley and then Dylan for what you see that new folks, the common things that you've seen, Heidi, that newcomers face when they come to Hawaii?
Well, the first one that comes to mind is just the overall mindset of being open to being in a new place and not expecting everything to operate as it did on the mainland, because it's definitely different here. And I think when I see people coming from other places and just getting really frustrated because things aren't going how they expect, they just need to take a breath, relax, feel the aloha, and just learn how to kind of get along with everybody. I don't know how to describe it, but it's more about the mindset and expectations, and some things take a little longer, but it's an amazing quality of life if it's right for you. So
Excellent.
I mean, that's the number one thing that comes to mind.
Perfect. Okay, so mindset, getting used to the things are going to be probably significantly different. Actually, this is great because Tracy asked for 3 things and there's 3 of you, so perfect. So that's yours. Ashley, what's yours? What comes top of mind to yours in addition to what Heidi's saying?
Yeah, because I think that's the biggest one. I think depending on where you move to, of course, the discrepancy of curb appeal in certain neighborhoods and houses. You have a big mix of affordability different neighborhoods, because you have people that generationally were handed down properties, and again, if this is there are some isolated areas where you see just all really nice homes and such, but just kind of getting used to that. The neighbor next door has a lot of cars parked out front, or their house looks like it's not taken care of. They're beautiful people often, and they just can't necessarily afford to renovate the home or keep it to par. So I think that mindset of like, a lot of people live for community here and for the outdoors and just being together, and not so much pouring money into the aesthetics of the home. I run across that often. So it takes some massaging. I'm going to be paying $2 million to be next to what? And then acclimating them to the differences of what people will prioritize here.
That is a really, really interesting perspective. I'd never kind of thought about that curb appeal, but you're so right. We place a much more higher priority, like you said, on community and enjoying the outdoors. It's less about the house, and it's more about the people, the culture, the outdoors, the nature. That's going. Dylan, what's your? You've always got something fun, interesting to kind of say about this topic. What is the biggest obstacle? Heidi mentioned kind of getting used to the mindset, which is of course the big one. Ashley mentioned curb appeal. What's your biggest newbie obstacle, Dylan?
I think kind of connected to what they're saying, but maybe another perspective is really focusing in on the benefits here that are different, or the things that are special here that are different from where you came from. And like a perfect example is a lot of times people say like they miss the seasons, right? They miss the leaves falling and the leaves changing and things like that, which is totally legitimate. But there's other things like being able to like sit on the shoreline and watch whales, right? Which you're not going to get where you came from. So it's almost like changing your mindset, like Heidi said, from focusing on what you don't have here to really focusing on all the additional things that you have here, because there's a lot of that where, hey, you may not be able to go to a concert or a Broadway show or something like that. We don't have those types of entertainment value type of activities, but you can go on an amazing hike and see views that are just totally mind-blowing, or just sit on the beach and enjoy a sunset, and so it's really shifting your mindset from what is important and what is special. And if you can't get over some of those things, like having the access to big city amenities, sometimes it can be a hard transition because, like everybody said, it's very, very different. I've also had people say, like, I can't believe you can't go get a dinner reservation past 8 o'clock, and that's very common on the neighbor islands where, I mean, things, you need to eat dinner by 5:30 or 6, or you're not going to go out to a restaurant. And but that's also a thing I think that's great, is that we don't have, a lot of hustle and bustle after hours. So
I get a bonus too. That was good. It is. It drives me nuts going to Outer Island, and I'm like, what? It's 9.
The whole town. When the very first place I touched my feet in Hawaii was Maui, 1983, and I remember in the resort area, it's like, what the whole town is shut down. Is that, like, sun goes down, town is closed. Like, what? That was like the wildest thing. But yeah, it's amazing. Yeah,
I have one more bonus. Just
sure. Bonus topic. Go.
Furniture. It's just, especially because we're staging, or people who are, pouring into the aesthetics of the home, just materials and furniture. We don't have IKEA. We don't have those big box stores. So sourcing certain materials can be more challenging. Not impossible, just more challenging.